Hey everyone, I'm sure many of you have been in the same situation. You've just dropped a small fortune on a high-end graphics card, only to find that your games are still stuttering and struggling to keep up. I've been there myself, spending over $1,500 on a card only to watch my frame rates tank the moment I turn on ray tracing or try to play at 4K resolutions. It's frustrating, to say the least. But the good news is that there's a solution out there that can actually handle the demands of modern gaming. I'm talking about the GIGABYTE GeForce RTX 3090 Eagle OC 24G. If you want to check out the product details and specs, the link is in the description on Amazon. So, what makes this card so special? For me, it all comes down to the WINDFORCE 3X cooling system. Unlike other cards that rely on a single, loud fan to cool the entire system, the Eagle OC uses 3 alternate spinning fans that work together to pull air through the heatsink from both sides. This approach makes a huge difference in terms of temperature control, especially in smaller cases with limited airflow. In my own setup, which includes a small case with poor airflow, the card idled at a comfortable 38 degrees Celsius, a full 17 degrees Celsius lower than my previous 3090. And when I cranked up Cyberpunk with ray tracing and DLSS enabled, the temp stayed under 72 degrees Celsius, even during the most intense moments. That's a huge improvement over my previous card, which would often downclock to 1800 MHz under load. With the Eagle OC, the GPU boost clock held steady at 1950 MHz, providing a smooth and consistent gaming experience. But the cooling system is just the beginning. The Eagle OC also boasts an impressive 24 GB of GDDR6X memory on a 384-bit bus. For most games, this is complete overkill, but for those of us who like to push the limits of what's possible, it's a lifesaver. Whether you're running 4K texture packs, multiple 8K video streams in OBS, or just want to have multiple resource-intensive applications open at the same time, the extra VRAM makes all the difference. I've got a second monitor running a 4K YouTube edit in Premiere Pro, a third streaming at 1440p, and the card hasn't even broken a sweat. And if you're into 3D rendering or AI workloads, the extra memory means you can have multiple projects open at once without having to close everything else to play a game. Of course, no high-end graphics card would be complete without some kind of RGB lighting, and the Eagle OC delivers with GIGABYTE's RGB Fusion 2.0. I've got to say, I'm a total sucker for a well-designed lighting system, and the Eagle OC's RGB Fusion 2.0 does not disappoint. Not only can I sync the card's lighting to my other GIGABYTE components, but I can also set it to pulse with the music or match the in-game palette. It's purely aesthetic, I know, but when you're staring at a black case with only one RGB source, it makes the whole setup feel intentional and cohesive. Another area where the Eagle OC impresses is power draw. The card uses a single 16-pin 12 VHPWR connector, which makes it much easier to manage cables and reduce clutter. My Corsair RM1000X power supply barely broke a sweat, even during the most demanding benchmarks, and the whole system stayed under 450 watts. If you're on an older PSU or just hate dealing with cable clutter, the single connector is a small convenience that adds up. In terms of build quality, the Eagle OC feels premium without the bling tax of some other high-end cards. The metal backplate adds rigidity and helps to keep the card stable, while the matte black finish hides fingerprints better than glossy options. The only real trade-off is size. The card is a whopping 13.6 inches long, so make sure you've got the clearance in your case before you buy. I had to remove a hard drive cage in my Fractal Design Meshify C to fit the card, but once it's in, it's rock solid. On the software side, GIGABYTE's Control Center lets you tweak fan curves and RGB lighting without installing a separate utility. I set a custom fan curve that keeps noise under 35 dB during light gaming and only ramps up to 45 dB when I'm stress testing. It's quiet enough that I can actually hear my mechanical keyboard again, which, let's be real, is a nice bonus. So, what's the verdict? If you're tired of your flagship card throttling under load, the GIGABYTE RTX 3090 Eagle OC 24G is the one that actually delivers on the promise. It stays cool, stays quiet, and keeps those boost clocks honest even when you're pushing pixels in 4K with every setting maxed. Whether you're a gamer, a content creator, or just someone who likes to have the best of the best, the Eagle OC is definitely worth considering. So, to wrap it up, if you're in the market for a high-end graphics card that can handle anything you throw at it, check the link below to see the current price and availability.